But first up, she's the former Democratic National Committee chair whose new book is Hacks, the inside story of the break-ins and breakdowns that put Donald Trump in the White House. Donna Brazile. Hey, you.
Bad motherfucker. Bad motherfucker.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm so glad you feel free enough here on HBO to call me that.
I just called him a bad motherfucker. I've been waiting to use that word on television for what, 15 years?
Absolutely. And this
you are one bad one, too. I mean...
Thank you. I'm taking that as a compliment and
it
moving right on. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I'm your fan, too. In fact, I feel I saw you took a lot of crap for this book, and I thought, wow, I have so much in common with you because I think we both do the same thing. We want our side to win.
Right.
So we criticize it when necessary, and some people don't like any criticism.
That's correct.
But we're doing it. It's not like criticizing the Republicans. Right. That's a different kind of criticism.
It's tough love. It's tough love.
Get your shit together.
Right, right.
And they need it.
We gotta win.
Right.
Tuesday was a great day. By the way, it was a blue wave. Blue wave. And you know, Bill, I've heard you say this before, but it's so true. We cannot just compete in the so-called blue states. We have to compete in all 50 states. We won in Georgia. That was tremendous. A Liberian mayor, and I'm going to Montana now. I got to check that out.
Oh.
You know? I mean, that is just unheard of.
I played these cities as a comic.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the cities, it's always great.
It's always great.
It's about city and country.
Absolutely.
Right? It's really not about the state itself.
But you know, we had a great turnout on Tuesday. In Virginia alone, the minority turnout increased by 5%.
Yeah.
33% of all voters were people of color. That is, if we continue this trend, next year, we're going to see a blue wave all across America.
So why is the Democratic approval like the lowest in a generation? It's very low.
Correct.
Why do you think that?
Both political parties are underwater simply because I think the American people are tired of Washington, D.C. They're tired of failed policies. They really would like to see both parties get something done. Our numbers are far better than the Republicans. The Republicans are as popular as a root canal. But
wait, you sort of lumped both parties there under the rubric of failed policies. I would think we would want to...
Because when Washington is not working, the American people believe...
But whose policies have failed? Not Obamacare is not a failure. And I think that people are pissed off at the Democrats because a lot of that, I think, disapproval is coming from Democrats themselves who are saying, we don't stand up for our stuff.
Correct.
I mean, I heard Trump say over and over and over these last months that Obamacare is a failure, it's a mess, it's a disaster, it's a disgrace. And I don't hear Democrats full-throatedly saying, that's just plainly not true. It's not in fact, Obamacare enrollees spiked.
I know.
Lately because they're afraid it's going to go away.
And open enrollment, by the way, continues throughout the next couple of weeks. You saw what happened in Maine, where the voters there supported policies to expand Medicaid to over 89,000 people. Now, I don't know if the governor will sign that bill because that ballot initiative. But people are upset across the country. They're upset at Democrats and Republicans. Our approval ratings are a little bit better. Our generic balloting for next year is far greater than the Republicans. But they want Democrats to deliver on more than just talking points. They want the Democratic Party, as you mentioned, to stand up, to fight for these policies, to fight for Obamacare. I think you're going to see a new Democratic Party emerge in 2018.
But let's not buy in. Okay, but I got to push back a little bit on...
Go ahead.
I feel like you're a little bit buying into their narrative of a pox on both their houses, and it's just failed Washington. And then people don't have to look specifically into the issues and what they stand for. I mean, their policies have failed. Trickle-down economics is a failure.
Correct.
Okay, they just passed that banking bill that said people can't get together in class action suits to sue banks.
That's correct.
No Democrat voted for it.
I know.
Steve Bannon, who pretends to be a populist, wanted this. But where are there people out there in America going, please take away our right to sue the banks?
I mean, you've heard Elizabeth Warren, you've heard Chuck Schumer. I mean, Democrats, Chris Murphy, they all went to the floor. They all went out across the country, just like when the Republicans tried to repeal and replace Obamacare. I think you're hearing the Democratic Party make a bunch of noise. Unfortunately, Bill, when you have the bully pulpit, when the Republicans control most state houses across the country, often voters don't hear exactly what we stand for, but it's coming through, and I think they'll hear more of it next year.
Okay.
Next year's a big year, 360 days, get ready.
Yeah, no, and it was a very encouraging week.
Absolutely.
First of all, I feel like we spent all of 2017 still stuck in 2016.
I agree.
Can we put the Bernie, Hillary thing aside, that great divide? I mean, that's what all the controversy was with your book, you know, that the elections were, the primaries were rigged. And, you know, it doesn't matter, first of all, now, it's over. And also the policy differences between the Bernie folks and the Hillary folks were really small to begin with. That's another thing that could hold us back.
Well, you know, Bill, after a presidential campaign, we should assess what happened. The Republicans did an autopsy report. I assumed that the Clinton campaign would do their form of autopsy. But as chair of the Democratic Party, I felt a responsibility to tell my story. I was chair.
Yeah.
I became chair because the party was hacked. The country was hacked.
Right.
And so this notion that somehow or another I cannot tell my story, the story of the Democratic National Committee, in a year that Donald Trump won by less than 100,000 votes, the party needs to examine that. And then I believe we can heal. You cannot heal an open wound by just dressing it, you know, dressing it. You have to analyze it, talk about it, all of it, and then I think we can move forward.
Okay, so I thought the most surprising thing I read in the book was when you said after Hillary's shocking collapse,
yes,
which I did not see as a shocking collapse. She had pneumonia, right? She stumbled on the curb. I mean, how grueling a campaign is. I'm surprised they don't do it once a week.
Look, I've been involved in a lot of campaigns. 21. I have a lot of campaigns under my belt, but I was worried about Hillary.
But you said you thought of replacing her at that point. I didn't know it was in your power, first of all, to replace her.
I got magical powers. I can turn your hair back to the color it was 10 years ago. I got magical powers, you know. Us Catholic girls, we've been known to, you know, rub our hands through things and make it a little bigger.
Let's not be talking about gray hair.
Okay? No, I'm not talking about gray hair. I might lend you some of this stuff I have now. No, but look, Hillary Clinton, when that video went viral, I began to receive calls from not just the media, but people within the Democratic Party. And as chair of the party, the convention rules as well as our charter says the chair shall confer with. Now, I kept my own counsel. And the next day, I had someone from the Clinton campaign with me to dampen these rumors. But yes, I had to keep my counsel about what would happen if Hillary didn't get up, if she wasn't able to recover and get back on the road. She did. I went back on TV. I tamped those rumors down. And God knows, I wanted Hillary to run all the way to the White House because that was my intentions when I became chair of the party. Okay. Well, we need you. The party needs you. Your country needs you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for writing this book. And keep at it. You go, girl. All right, brother. Donna Brazile. I love you.